Welcome back everybody to Retro Racing for round 4 of season 1 here at the famous Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. It's promising to be an absolutely cracking race, and as you can see there, this circuit is just under 2.5 miles long. So let's now have a look at those current championship standings after round 3. Mitch leads the way with 27 points over Steve F1. Close behind with 24. Mandalorian in there with 22 points, and Diesel is currently matched with Toy MC on 19 points. Bit of a gap to GBM Allman, and I expect the top 5 to be really fighting for this championship from now on. So qualifying was indeed very close. The top 9 were covered within 1 second, and Mitch took pole position in his McLaren with Steve F1. The title fighters on the front row: Steve F1 in P2, Mandalorian P3, Lex in P4, AFC Guna P5, Diesel P6, GBM Allman P7 and RJ Cool in P8. Toy MC had an unfortunate qualifying in P9 and Dave Hart's at the back in P10. So now hand over to myself, James Shaw, and Justin Dix, your race commentators. Right, so here we go then. Round 4 for the first season of Retro Racing is about to get underway at the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. And there we go, the lights are out and off they go. Steve F1 seems to have a bit of a struggle there off the line, and that's put Mandalorian up his inside as Mitch gets a decent start, leading the way as they head up towards turn 2 now. And yeah, Steve F1 really under pressure. AFC Gunners up his inside, and yeah, I think that move is made, so that's put Steve F1 now down to P4 from starting P2 on the grid. That's not a great start for Steve F1, but I'm pretty sure in practice he has looked like the one to beat as Mitch now heads through turn 4, and now they're heading on to the back end of the circuit as Lex is all over the back now of Steve F1.
Fucking hell, it's good to see Lex back after last week where he wasn't here. Well, he wasn't racing last week. He was too drunk, and yeah, that was all Mitch's fault, as Ron Dennis was saying. But the rod now is currently set in P5, and he's got a decent run here on Steve F1 as they run up the hill. He's on the inside. Can he make the move? Oh, magnificent move there from Lex. I don't know if he cut the corner, but that was fantastic. We're getting a bit of a replay, James.
Yeah, I think he potentially cut this corner, but let's see. Was he in front of Steve F1 on the way into the corner? Well, from that angle there, I don't know. I think if he had have backed out of it, I think they'd have both ended up off circuit. So I think that the stewards might just let him off with that one, even though it was a clear corner cut there. But I think the stewards might say he was trying to avoid a collision, because if he'd have tried to keep it on track, there was potential there. He could have slid wide and wiped into the side of Steve F1. But yeah, we'll see if the stewards come up with anything on screen. But yeah, you would not want to go side by side through that particular corner. It's hard enough as it is going through that particular corner on your own. As Steve F1 now fighting back. Can he try and get this position here, Justin?
Fucking hell, Steve F1 definitely the one to beat around here, but he will not be impressed being set in P5 as they run through turn 5 there. Very, very fast right-hander, and you can see the front wing working very hard there. I mean, the aerodynamics on this car are absolutely crazy. I don't know. Oh, Mitch has hit the wall on the. Oh, he's lost the lead.
Yeah, and they're at that same corner again. Let's have a look at a replay. Just dips a wheel on the grass. Oh, so close to the having contact there with Mandalorian, and I think he will have a bit of damage, so that might slow his progress. As currently Mandalorian now leads the race as we start lap 3, and AFC Guna right up behind him in P2 in the Mercedes-Benz, but Mitch currently sat in P3, and there's his teammate right up behind him, and Mitch will have a touch of damage, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure after a few, probably talking about 30 seconds, the damage will dissipate and disappear. So, Mitch running wide there, and this might give Lex in P4 a hint of an opportunity as they run through turn 4 right now. And yeah, Mitch just needs to. Steve F1 in the background on the grass. I think he might have tried to put his nose in a gap that did not exist there as they run through turn 5, and there you can see the marbles already lining up on the outside of the circuit as the tyres scrub across the surface of the tarmac, and Lex there runs a bit wide. Could this give Steve F1 an opportunity into the same corner where Lex shoved it up the inside on the opening lap? No, Steve F1, a little bit of lag there, I don't know what's quite happened there. but it's all settled down again. But yeah, just a touch of lag. That could be the internet under a hell of a lot of pressure. Oh, it looks like Mitch there almost pushing AFC Gunner down the road. I think Mitch is going to go for a move here, Justin.
Back in here. Mitch got so much pace around here. He's really pushing hard, and yeah, he's right all over the back of AFC Gunner. Had to back out of it. Can you have a look up towards turn 2? AFC Gunner leaves the door wide open. Has he run wide there? No. Oh, Mitch up the inside. Has he run down towards turn 3 now? And Mitch trying to do the up and under on AFC Gunner. It's just not quite worked out. And Lex is all over Mitch's rear wing. This is really, really close now, from P2 all the way back to P8 right now. That is, P7, all the way to P7. Very, very close. And yeah, looks like we're on board now with Steve F1 running through turn 5. And this is so close, so close. I just don't know how these drivers concentrate on where they're supposed to go on such a narrow circuit, Jay, when they can't even see where they're going because they just see a rear wing of the driver in front.
Yeah, well, Justin, that just shows you the skill of these drivers as Lex there. Ooh, Lex just dips a wheel onto the grass. But right now, the driver's going to be thinking about their strategies right now. Are they going to pit and get out of this traffic and try and use fresh tyres to bring them back into the fight, as Steve F1 currently sat in P5. He's been telling us in the pit lane that he can try and do a one-stop strategy, but I think he would have only done that if he had have been leading the race. Sat now in P5 is kind of stunting his progress right now and stunting what ability he's got, because he's stuck right now behind Lex in P5. And yeah, Lex runs a touch wide there on the exit of turn 3 as I head towards turn 4, head into the back end of the circuit. Steve F1 there gets his wheels all over the inside curve, and that will not do his tyres any good. Diesel now in the second Lotus has got a really, really good run. Meanwhile, we've got AFC Gunner running through turn 6. Sorry, that was turn 5. Now they're running through turn 6, and Mitch is all over that rear wing.
Fucking hell, you can clearly see there, Mitch definitely got the front running pace. He just tagged the back of AFC Gunner. Luckily, AFC Gunner did not lose control of his car. And yeah, Mitch is really, really pushing hard. We're getting a bit of a replay here. Oh, it was Ullman earlier on, and that's put Term C in front of him. And yeah, Term C now up to P8 as we got the two McLarens very, very close on the run down towards turn 1. Lex shoves it up the inside and pushes his teammate. Pushes his teammate off the track.
Oh my God, that will be devastating for Ron Dennis. I'm pretty sure his star driver has just been absolutely wiped out by his teammate. We're having a look at a replay now. This is on board with Mitch there. You can see the tag, and he's pushed off on board with Steve F1, and there you can see Lex just running in towards turn 1 and nerfing his teammate out of the way. And there we can see in the top right hand corner, yep, the stewards have handed out to Lex in P3 a -3 point penalty for forcing another competitor off the circuit. Very, very close. It was so close from being a light bit of contact, but it just turned into absolute disaster, and that's just given Lex a penalty. So Lex is going to have to try and fight really, really safely to the end of the race to avoid any more penalties, as Steve F1 is right. Oh no, we've got AFC Gunner off the circuit. It's just lost the rear end. Oh, that is devastating for AFC Gunner, who are running so well there. Currently, he was running in P2. Now he's down to P9, all from one little error, and that has just really well and truly shafted the Mercedes-Benz team, as Steve F1 now all over the back of Mitch.
Back in hell, can Steve F1 try it up the inside towards turn 2? Yes, he can. On the brakes, pushes Lex a little bit wider than he would have liked to have been. And yeah, Steve F1 now up to P2. And yeah, this one-stop strategy right now is not looking too bad for Steve F1. Only a few laps ago, Steve F1 was sitting in P5. Now he's up to P2. So there is Diesel in P4, and he's got RJ Cool and Time C right behind him as they're running through turn 5. Oh, look at the speed there. Time C taking through turn 5, and Time C, he had an unfortunate qualified down near P9, I believe. Had a very poor qualifying, but he's definitely got the race pace. So we're expecting him to fight his way through the field. And TMC on the grid was saying to me he's definitely going to have a podium finish. So right now he's got his work cut out because he's in P6. He's got another 3 positions to beat to get himself on the podium. But oh my God, we're looking at the race lead now. Steve F1 right all over the back of Mandalorian. Mandalorian got a really slow lap. Yeah, it's a slow lap because he's just caught him up massively. And yeah, running out of the exit at turn 2 towards turn 3. And Steve F1 really applying the pressure. I think maybe Mandalorian's tyres, maybe Mandalorian ragged his tyres a bit too much. Steve F1 looking after his tyres, and that just meant that right now he's got better tyres. But a bit further back, Jim, look like Diesel under pressure now from RJ Cool. Yeah, he moves to the racing line, and that put Diesel on the inside as they run through turn 5. Diesel keeps hold of P4 at the moment, and RJ Cool, yeah, is really applying the pressure along with Steve F1 for the race lead. And Steve F1 really is right now at one with his machine as he's really pushing Mandalorian. But I think we can head down to Mr. G because I think the Lotus boys are in the pit lane with a new fresh set of tyres.
Oh my God, guys, yeah, it looks like the Lotus team are out with a new fresh set of tyres for Mandalorian. So he's in his way to the pit lane, and the boys are ready with the tools, and have they got the nuts tied, and they're coming off right now, and on go the fresh set.
So what strategy do you think Mandalorian's going for now, Mr. G?
Well, I would say he's definitely looking at a 3-stop strategy. If he continues to go through tyres the way he just did, them super softs that just came off were absolutely down to the canvas.
Right, thanks again, Mr. G, as we also see TMC. He's headed his way out of the pit lane and just managed to get himself in front of AFC Gooner here, Justin.
Fucking hell, he's pouncing straight away. So, talking of pouncing straight away, here's Mandalorian up the inside of Data Harbours, and now running side by side down the back straight. Oh, Data Harbour, where's he going? He's gone off this track. Oh, watch out, my boy, watch out. Oh, he's come back on, and luckily Lex took avoiding action there. But yeah, Data Harbour right now really struggling as we're looking at the race leader now, Jim.
Yeah, Steve F1 looking very much in control of the race right now as Diesel in P2 has not pitted yet, and he's got Mitch, who's also not pitted yet, right up behind him. But Mitch looks to have a lot of pace if he can just unleash that pace. And right now, Diesel heading into the pit lane along with Diesel hit the wall on the way into the pit lane, so that might have scrubbed a little bit of time off as the Lotus boys get to work once again. And where's he going to feed out? There is Lex, Mando and TMC. TMC really has pulled in a lot of time on Mandalorian as they're heading up towards turn 2. And Diesel there feeds out in the background as Mandalorian gets defensive against TMC. Does not want to let that Tyrrell through and past him because he knows that TMC's got a hell of a lot of pace around here. Oh, Mandalorian running a touch wide there as they head down towards turn 4. Lex running onto the marbles there. That might not do his tyres much good as they're now heading onto the back straight. Can TMC get himself onto a podium position? It's looking quite likely at this moment in time, starting from P9 now up to P5 as TMC really, yeah, he's applying the pressure along with Mandalorian and Lex. I think them tyres on Lex's car are absolutely giving up the ghost right now. I think he's going to have to head into the pit lane because I think if he carries on, he's just going to end up flying off the circuit. But Lex is really doing a solid job. He's unfortunately got a minus 3-point penalty, but his pace is absolutely rapid now as they're heading onto the start-finish straight, and Lex carries on for another lap. This might put TMC close enough for a run towards Mandalorian on their run towards turn 1. And no, TMC thinks about possibly the exit on the run up towards turn 2. Here we go. TMC on the inside. Oh, Lex there.
No.
Lex looked like he just got a bit of lag.
Unbelievable.
I think Lex has just fallen off the circuit there. What do you think, Justin?
It looked like he'd been pushed off the circuit there by an invisible car because Mandalorian was another car length back, and yeah, he's really struggling right now. And here comes RJ Cool and Diesel up the inside before turn 5, before turn 4, sorry. But yeah, I think here we go with a bit of a replay. We're on board with TMC. Does Mandalorian touch the back of him? No. It was like there was an invisible car, or maybe Mandalorian had a really invisible front end there. But yeah, it looks like to me that unfortunately Lex suffered a bit of a lag issue there, and unfortunately he's down in P7. He was running so well in front of Mandalorian, and now he's down in P7. Absolutely devastating there for the McLaren team. But hopefully, if it's something to do with Wi-Fi, he should get himself wired up with an Ethernet cable, and then he won't have these problems in future.
Indeed, we were just looking there at a bit of a replay of Diesel all over the back of RJ Cool, and I think the battle's about to continue as they head down towards turn 1 here, Justin. And yeah, it looks like RJ Cool has just got enough pace to keep himself in front of Diesel, but Diesel's definitely getting frustrated, stuck behind that Mercedes-Benz as TOMC, after that incident there with Lex where he had that bit of a lag issue. Yeah, TOMC just snatched the position away from Mandalorian, so that could put, yeah, well, that's put TOMC up to P3 now, and that's the position he said he was going to get himself onto the podium. So yeah, that is pretty much job done so far for TOMC, and anything from now is a bonus. He's still got another 25 minutes and a few seconds remaining to try and push on to try and win the race, as right now Diesel's still all over the inside. Oh, can he try and make... Oh, that would be so dangerous going for a move up the inside, but he were looking for him, trying to put RJ Cool off in the mirrors. But right now Lex is joining this party after suffering that lag issue. He's closing in on Diesel as we're now having a look at Mitch into the pit lane now. Mr. G.
Oh my god, guys, it looks like the McLaren team are really playing games with the Benetton boys. They think a two-stop strategy is going to be the winning ticket, and he's heading out in P4. Fucking hell, which strategy is going to win this race? I don't know. I mean, Steve F1 trying to go to 20 minutes, and it looks like Mitch just pitted now. But this is going to cause him to stop one more time. I mean, I don't know which is going to be the winning ticket right now. I don't know. I don't know, James. What do you think?
Well, TOMC and Mandalorian are going for a 3-stop strategy, and they're currently in P2 and 3. But Mitch is only a few seconds behind him, as we're currently looking at Diesel down in P6 with Lex right up behind him in P7. And this battle's been going on since the start of the race. But yeah, I really don't know, because there is TOMC and Mandalorian still fighting tooth and nail for P2. Mandalorian's not letting TOMC go, but in the background you'll just be able to see popping into shot Mitch in P4 who's just pitted. So I don't think it's down to whether Mitch can try and jump these two. Then they can see in the distance Steve F1 who's going for his 1-stop. He's not pitted yet, so these two guys are actually closing in on Steve F1. I think if TOMC and Mandalorian close in and catch and pass Steve F1, that shows that their strategy is definitely onto a winner. But Mitch could be trying to outdo everybody here, going for a 2-stop. But yeah, I think it's just going to end up with we're going to find out pretty sooner or later, as RJ Cool goes defensive against Diesel as they run down the hill now. And yeah, Diesel up the inside and the run towards turn 2, and I think he's got the move made as RJ Cool trying it round the outside here, Justin.
Fucking hell, the Mercedes-Benz there just gets nerfed out there by Diesel. Diesel up to P5 now. There is some fantastic driving from both drivers there. And Lex now all over the back as we're on board with Lex running through turn 4. And yeah, Diesel there running all over the marbles. Don't think that'll be doing his tyres very good. There's TOMC trying to pull away now from Mandalorian in P2. But yeah, he's got a little bit of a breathing space, but it's not too much of a breathing space. But yeah, you can definitely see that Steve F1 is not too far away. There is Steve F1. Where is TOMC? He's only about 4 seconds behind him now. So TOMC and Mandalorian closing in, and then Mitch really closing on these guys. There he is. He's right in the hunt now. So I don't know. I think Mitch might be onto a winner here if you can try and catch Steve F1 before the half distance point. As we're on board now with RJ Cool now, Jack.
Oh, Diesel goes defensive, and RJ Cool going to the outside line. Oh, RJ Cool turned in there. RJ Cool just turned right across the front of Diesel. And yeah, I think the stewards are going to be looking into that one, because that was definitely, it looked like RJ Cool just moved to the right when Diesel was up his inside, and yeah, that just caused absolute mayhem. So them two drivers now down to P7 and 8, and I'm pretty sure Diesel will be performing with that. And the stewards, yep, they can see in the top right hand corner, the stewards have given RJ Cool a -3 point penalty for forcing another driver off circuit. And yeah, I don't think it were intentional. I don't know what it was, but yeah, RJ Cool just turned right across the front of Diesel on the run towards turn 1, and that's devastating for RJ Cole and especially Diesel, who were an innocent party there, as we're now on board with Mitch here, Justin.
Fucking hell, we're definitely seeing the two-stop strategy really has got an advantage now over the guys in front who are on a three-stop. Because if Mitch gets in front, that means the Mandalorian, he's going up the inside now, down towards turn 1, brakes later than Mandalorian, and he's up the inside. Brilliant move there from Mitch. Now he's up to P3. Can he try hunt down ToMC in P2? If he can do, I will eat my hat, because that is fantastic driving there from Mitch. Took 2 to tango, but Mitch absolutely went for it, put his balls on the line and absolutely shoved it up the inside in turn 1 and made the move there. As we're now looking back at Data Up in P9 and his good teammate right behind him in GBR Alvin.
Yeah, unfortunately we've not seen much of the Ferraris, but unfortunately they've been at the back of the circuit and there's been too much action going on up at the front. But it's good to see them absolutely still going hell for leather back there, and I'm pretty sure if they keep their heads down, anything can still happen in this race, because this circuit, if you go too wide, and there you go, Mitch just absolutely pushing the limits of his car. You go too wide and you can end up absolutely going flying, and that could be your set of tyres knackered and you could be back in the pit lane. So anybody in this race can still finish for a decent position, as ToMC under pressure now from Mitch in the final corner. Mitch trying it round the outsiders. Steve F1 and ToMC and Mandalorian heading into the pit lane now. Mr. G, over to you.
Oh my god, guys, all 3 teams under pressure. The Benetton boys let go of Steve F1 back into P2 now. And I think Mandalorian's going to come out in front of P5 and AFC Guna in the Mercedes.
Yeah, so right now, I do think that Mitch is on for the win here. The drivers behind Steve F1 is not going to pit again, so that will mean that Mitch, when he comes back out of the pit lane, he's going to be behind Steve F1, but he's going to be on way fresher tyres near the end of the race, and it's just whether Steve F1 can make his Benetton as wide as possible. So MC is not letting Steve F1 get away, and this is not what Steve F1 needs. Steve F1 needs to just concentrate on what's going on in front of him and make no mistakes if he wants to win. But right now we're looking back here, Justin, at the 2 Ferraris.
Fucking hell, this is so close between P8 and 9, Data Up and GBM Alman, and the only guy behind them is Lex, and I believe Lex has just pitted with brand new tyres, so he should be closing in on these guys pretty soon. RJ Cool and Lex have both got minus 3-point penalties, so far the Ferraris haven't got a penalty, and Alman really pushing Data Harper down the road. I'm pretty sure the Ferrari team will be thinking to themselves, these guys are really pushing hard, but I just think that all they were hoping for is that they can try and both overtake our Cool J in front of them, RJ Cool. I keep getting them names mixed up, but ToMC all over the back now of Steve F1 running through turn 3. And Steve F1 just needs to keep composed and not try and ToMC up the inside. Oh no, Steve F1 says no chance, mate. ToMC runs off circuit there. I think he was a bit flustered, but Steve F1 says no chance, sunshine. You're gonna have to wake up a bit earlier to beat me here. As the 2 Ferraris really close now behind the Mercedes-Benz of RJ Cool. And here comes Lex as well. This is going to be very interesting at the rear end of the circuit.
Yeah, so Lex, I think, is definitely one to watch, as he's all over the back of GBM Ullman now. He's running on GBM Ullman, spots that one and covers it off. Is Lex going to try and have a look up the inside now towards turn 5? Oh, it'd be an absolute daredevil move if he tried it, but GBM Ullman runs wide there, and Lex gets in front of him. So Lex has put his McLaren between both Ferraris and is on the fight back now, up to P8. Meanwhile, there he is in P8. Oh, once again, taking that very fast inside line, almost cutting the corner. And I'm pretty sure the stewards will be looking into that if he continues almost cutting that corner. He's right behind Dave the Harp through the final corner. And, RJ Cool into the pit lane, and Dave the Harp, is he going defensive? He is. He's going defensive towards turn 1, but Lex looks up the inside.
Fucking hell, brilliant move there from Lex up the inside. Managed to get past both Ferraris on one lap. And Data Up almost looking back at Lex, but right now Lex just absolutely flew past them two Ferraris like they were standing still. And yes, he may be investigated by the stewards for corner cutting, because that is not on, because that's where you can gain an unfair advantage. And but currently, right now, we've got Mitch leading the way by a fair few seconds in the lead. He's got about 8 seconds in his pocket. Then it's Steve F1 P2. Then very close behind him, Term C and Mandalorian. Meanwhile, we're looking back at the two Ferraris still scrapping away at the rear end of the field. Lex has come and gone. He's managed to make his way through past the Ferraris as Alman, a little bit out of shape there. And right now, he's got Diesel on fresh tyres hunting him down. But there is the guy in P2, Steve F1. He's done his final pit stop about 4 minutes ago. And right now he's got Term C all over him. The last thing that Steve F1 needs is to be getting caught up in the battle. Doesn't need to be involved in as Mandalorian. No, sorry, not Mandalorian. His teammate Diesel all over the back now of GBM Alman. Oh, GBM Alman up the inside of his teammate towards turn 2. Dave the Harb leaves the room. Lovely driving there, and Alman manages to get himself in front of Dave the Harb, his teammate, as they run down towards turn 3. Dave the Harb, a little bit of a wheel on the grass, and that will not do his tyres any good, as Diesel's having a look up the inside of turn 4.
Does Diesel go for it? No, he backs out of it early, and that's put Dave the Harp out of shape on the exit of the corner. That's allowed Diesel now to be side by side with Dave the Harp as they head onto the back straight, and the side by side, here we go, as they head down the hill, and Dave the Harp, he backs out of it and sticks behind Diesel. That was quite sensible there from Dave the Harp down in P9. And there we go, we're looking right now at P2, which is Steve F1 and Tom C in P3, and they've pulled a bit of a gap actually over Mandalorian. Mandalorian's falling back now in P4, and yeah, if anything, Mitch is in P1 and he's still got a 7-second gap over Steve F1, so it's still looking very, very good for Mitch in P1. He might be able to pit and come out in P3, as we're now on board with Diesel. Now on to the second Ferrari. Can he try and overtake Ullman towards turn 1? Here we go. It stays on the racing line. Ullman goes defensive towards turn 1. On the exit, can Diesel get a decent run towards turn 2? Ullman goes very, very defensive there, as they're now heading through turn 2, and Ullman looks quite out of shape. I think Diesel is going to make his way through, as we're now looking at Steve F1, still not able to break away from ToMC here, Justin.
Back in here, these two stuck together with a piece of string. But right now, it looks like Steve F1 is... oh, this is a replay. A replay of Diesel got past GBM Alman, so that's a pretty easy move there for Diesel. And now his next target up the road is Lex, and this is them live now heading through turn 5. But yeah, Lex is the next car for Diesel to try hunt down in P6. But yeah, I just don't know what's going on up at the front, because Mitch still got about a 6-second gap over Steve F1 and ToMC. But yeah, from my calculations, it looks like Mitch could pit and still come out in front of Mandalorian in P4. So that looks like a pretty done deal for Mitch. He looks like he could possibly win this, but it's anybody's guess, as AFC Gunner exits the pit lane right in front of Lex in the McLaren. So that's a good position there for AFC Gunner. On fresh tyres, comes out in front of Lex, and Lex's heart will have just sunk, because yeah, just, you know that the guy in front who's come out on fresh tyres just going to start to pull away from you now. But yeah, Tom C really, really applying the pressure, applying the power through the blind, the right-hander. And here we go. Can Steve F1 try and pull away now? Can them tyres, can he try? Is Steve F1 not pushing as hard as he normally would do if he was going flat out? Is Tom C driving flat out? Tom C into the pit lane now. That's an early call with 13 minutes left to go. Down to Mr. G.
Oh my god, guys. The guys down in the Tyrrell garage were not ready for their pit stop. Luckily, the guys just had the tyres ready in time, and Tom C's back out in P4.
Right, so that means that ToMC is heading to the end of the race, and yeah, there's only 12 minutes and about 10 seconds left to go till the end of the race. So here we go. GBM Ullman really starting to fight back against Diesel. Diesel's made his way in front of GBM Ullman, but right now it looks like Ullman's in a better position because he's really, really close behind Diesel. And this is the battle for P7 right now. And yeah, they're on lap 23, and yeah, like I said, there's only 12 minutes of the race left to go, but that really does put a spanner in the works for the guys up at the front. TOMC he's going for like an overcut over the front of Mandalorian, but I think that's just going to put him in a battle with Mandalorian. Maybe might get him further up the circuit, as Mitch, the race leader, is into the pit lane now, down to Mr. G.
Oh my god, guys, the McLaren boys are ready, and they're trying to get him out of the pit lane, back in P2 to fight for the win.
Yep, Steve F1 heading through turn 1, Mandalorian heading over the start-finish line, and Mitch has just managed to get himself out in front of Mandalorian. That was crucial, so right now he can just focus on putting in blistering lap times and hunting down Steve F1 there. You can see on the right-hand side how quick Mitch has been in the 113s, 12s, and just dipping into the very low 114s. So Mitch is on an absolute mission now to try and hunt down Steve F1, who's only about 5 seconds in front of him. And yeah, there's still over 10 minutes left to go to the end of the race, so Mitch is definitely in prime position here to try and win this. It's whether Steve F1 can make his Benetton as wide as possible, as we're currently looking at Lex there in P6, Diesel in P7, and RJ Cool's not far behind Diesel right now as they're running through turn 3, and the two Ferraris once again absolutely stuck together, these two, with very, very similar pace. GBM Ullman leads the way for the Ferrari boys with Dave Harp in P10. But yeah, right up at the front, the strategies are well and truly playing themselves out right now. Steve F1 pitted over, well, exactly 10 minutes ago, and yeah, is that going to be the winning ticket, as Mandalorian from P3 is heading into the pit lane now. But we're on board with Dave Harp running through turn 5, and yeah, these two Ferraris, I'm pretty sure they're going to be once again scratching their heads at the end of this race, hoping that one of these guys up at the front falls off the circuit here, Justin.
Back in here, Ferrari Enzo will not be pleased with this performance, but you know, it's all about being there at the end of the race, and right now they're still on the circuit. They've not crashed yet, so anything can happen, as you say. But Mitch, yeah, really on a mission. TOMC is in P3, and he's got a decent gap over Mandalorian, so hopefully TOMC can try and stretch his tyres and make sure that Mandalorian does not catch him up, and that'll be P3 absolutely secure. But yeah, right now we're looking at RJ Cool in P7 behind Diesel in P6. But yeah, Diesel, he's definitely been one who struggled at this circuit. I think he said to us on the pit lane before the race, he said, I'll be happy with anywhere in the top 6. So right now, Diesel is yeah, he's just not in the fight for the win. He's just not got the pace around here today. And yeah, I think even though he's going to be finishing in P6, it'll probably feel like a win to him. But right now, yeah, you can see Mitch really pushing hard. Look at the left arm on the far right, 112.2. That is absolutely blistering pace. And there you can see Steve F1, the race leader, with 10-minute-old tyres right in front of him, as he head through turn 4, now onto the back straight, heading towards turn 5, and the slipstream will be coming into effect right now. And yeah, Mitch, can he try and do this after being shunted off the race at the beginning of the race by his teammate? Can Mitch do a mammoth effort and end up winning the race? That'll be crazy. That'll be astronomical. I mean, this will be better than the win at the round 2 if he can do it. But also, can Steve F1 make his Benetton as wide as he can? Try and put Mitch off in the background and say, nah, you're not coming through, mate. You can try it, but you're not going to make your way through, because I'm going to win. This is really intense now. Very close for Mitch as they head over the start-finish line, Jack.
So here we go then. Steve, the race leader, goes defensive towards turn 1. Mitch tries it on the outside, breaks late. Can he take it all the way around the outside as we run up towards turn 2? I think he can. I think he's in front. Steve F1 backs out, and Mitch takes the lead of the race. Ah, fucking hell, what a move there from Mitch. I'm pretty sure Steve F1 will be spinning feathers in that cockpit, and I'm pretty sure that Flavio Brigatore will be absolutely getting their pliers out to chop Steve F1's balls off, because I'm pretty sure he will not be impressed. He definitely will not, Justin. But yeah, you were telling me that Steve F1 had a cheeky word with Flavio on the pit lane before the start of the race.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that I heard on the grapevine that Steve F1 turned to Flavio on the in the pit lane and said, hey, Flav, don't worry, this one's in the bag. But yeah, he's definitely got to have some explaining to do when he heads back into the pit lane and goes, nice, I'm sorry, it's not in the bag, I've only got P2.
Well, he can only hope and pray right now, because we're only, we've only got 6.5 minutes left of this race, and Steve F1 will be praying that Mitch flies off the circuit. And yeah, but currently right now it looks like Diesel's dropping back into the clutches of the Ferraris of GBM Ullman and Dave Hart. GBM Ullman in P9. Can he try and snatch P8 off Diesel as we're heading into the final few minutes of the race? And they're heading through turn 5, and there is RJ Cool a few seconds down the road in front of them guys. And yeah, he's in the Mercedes just behind his teammate AFC Gooner as Lex there is trying to close in on RJ Cool. Both of these drivers have got -3-point penalties, and I'm pretty sure they'll be foaming when they get back to the pit lane. But here we go, Steve F1 still only a few seconds behind Mitch. He just needs to hope that Mitch makes a mistake right now, because I don't think there's anything left in Steve F1's armoury to try and regain the lead of the race other than Mitch making a mistake as Mandalorian in P4. Yeah, it looks like, I don't think he's going to be on the podium today, as ToMC's still got a decent lead over him. I think he's got about 4 seconds in his pocket right now as he's heading. Oh, ToMC's onto the grass. ToMC's running wide. Can he make himself back onto the circuit? He can. He holds on to P3, but that's just put Mandalorian right up behind him.
Fucking hell, there we go. ToMC and the Tyrrell making a mistake. Oh yeah, and his tyres are going to be absolutely filthy. This might put Mandalorian right on the tail of him, and Mandalorian's on fresher tyres. This could be devastating now for the Tyrrell team. This could be his podium slipping away. Could Mandalorian find himself on the 3rd step of the podium? And yeah, they're heading up towards turn 2. ToMC goes defensive very, very early. But yeah, as ToMC just knackered his tyres. And yeah, it looks like he's really, really under pressure now, James.
Right, so can ToMC try and regain his composure and try and start to pull away from Mandalorian? He's definitely got some really, really good pace round here as ToMC, but Mandalorian, with their fresher tyres, it may negate any advantage that ToMC's got as we're looking further back here at RJ Cool and Lex still fighting for P7. And yeah, Oldman now on Diesel. Can Oldman take it round the outside here, Justin?
Fucking hell, here we go. Diesel making his Lotus as wide as possible, really trying to put Oldman off, and he turns in there. Oldman almost got his nose chopped off as they head up towards turn 4. Here we go. Who's got the grip? I think Diesel's run out of tyres right now. And Oldman's having a look as, here we go, further up towards the podium, the sharp end of the field. ToMC really, really under pressure now as we're 4 minutes left to go of the race as ToMC running through turn 1. Can Mandalorian put him under pressure as they're heading up towards turn 2 on left 30. I think there's still going to be another 3 laps left of this race before we call curtains on this race, because it's been a fantastic race here at Brands Hatch's ToMC all out of shape on the exit of turn 3. Mandalorian, can he have a look up the inside? No, thinks better of it, runs through turn 4, trying to get a really good exit now onto the back straight here, Jack.
So is Mandalorian close enough to have a look up the inside towards turn 5? I don't think he's close enough. ToMC turns in, and it's all about making sure you do not run wide on the exit. ToMC leaves a ton of room on the outside, which shows he's really not pushing that Tyrrell as hard as he was earlier on in the race, as we're now heading to the final 3 minutes of the race. Oh, ToMC's off again! ToMC's off and Mandalorian's through to P3! Fucking hell, that's devastating for ToMC. His tyres are absolutely filthy, and he's down to P4 now. That's the podium gone now for ToMC as we're looking further back. I think Oldman's got in front of Diesel, but Diesel trying to fight back up the inside of turn 5. Here we go, side by side. Oldman right on the outside. Brilliant move there from GBM Oldman in the Ferrari. That is absolutely fantastic driving there from the oldest driver on the grid. Shane, experience really, really does count in retro racing around here at the Brands Hatch circuit. But Diesel really, really pushing hard. Yeah, can Diesel try and fight back? I think they're heading towards their final couple of laps. Yeah, side by side. Oh, Oldman goes defensive and touches the side of Diesel. Oh, it's just run wide there. That's devastating for GBM Ullman, but that's put Diesel up to P8 now.
As yeah, we're currently looking at Mitch in the race lead. Got a decent gap over Steve F1 in P2. There's Mandalorian, managed to get himself up into P3, and he's running in front of 2MC. And there is 2MC in the blue Tyrrell. I think he'll be absolutely foaming as we're now riding on board. Oh, Mandalorian just touched the gravel there, I think. The puff of dirt, and there we go. Mandalorian is very slow. Can 2MC take it around the outside? Can he manage to get him back into the podium position here? Here we go, Justin, down towards the final corner. Ah, fucking hell, here we go. 2MC on the inside. The final corner manages to get in front. But Mandalorian trying to fight back. He's up the inside towards turn 1. Side by side, the driver can almost pass the cigarette to each other. It's so close. 2MC backs out of it, trying to get a better exit on the run down towards turn 2. Mandalorian covers the inside of the road. 2MC trying to really hassle in the back of the Lotus, and Mandalorian just about holds on. Here we go. We're on the final lap for these two, I think, or maybe, yeah, the final lap for these two, I think. Oh, he's having a look up the inside towards turn 4. Here we go. Mandalorian leaves the door wide open. 2MC up the inside. Can Mandalorian get a cut back? Now he's in the slipstream of 2MC. We're heading down towards turn 5. Mandalorian going for the inside here, jam. So here we go then. Mandalorian on the inside. 2MC takes it round the outside. Turn 5. That was a fantastic move there from 2MC to hold on to P3. What a move there. And Mitch currently leading the race. I think he's going to get another lap along with Steve F1, but the battle we need to be looking at still is the battle for P3, because 2MC is still holding on for dear life. I think this is going to be their final lap as they're heading towards the final corner. Has 2MC done enough? As Mandalorian looking up the inside? No, he brakes early. 2MC leaves room, and they're running through the final corner. 2MC coming around the final corner to take P3. Ah, fucking hell, that's a brilliant podium there for 2MC. Mandalorian P4. Oh, AFC Gunner under pressure here, Jam. Yeah, here we go. AFC Gunner. Oh, he gets a little bit of a tag there from Lex, and he runs wide. I think we're going to have another look at that. Oh, AFC Gunner runs off the circuit. That's devastating for AFC Gunner. His teammate blasts through, and there goes Lex through the final corner. I think the stewards are going to look at that one, and yeah, they're investigating it right now, and they'll get back to us. But Lex heads over the line to finish P5. He's got a -3 point penalty to add to his points he gets, and same with RJ Cool. Oh, AFC Gunner's devastated, heading over the line in P8 because it were looking so good for him. And yeah, here comes GBM Allman, the first of the Ferraris, finishing P9, and where is Dave? They are not too far behind him in P10. And there we go, here comes Mitch round the final corner to win the race, and yeah, he will be absolutely chuffed. There you go, weaving from side to side. Ron Dennis absolutely loves that one, and yeah, that's one for the copybook. And here comes Steve F1, and yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, there we go, we can see out of the pit wall, yeah, Flavio's got a pair of pliers. I think he's implying something as Steve F1 finishes in P2. So yeah, just to confirm, at the end of the race there was an incident between Lex and AFC Gunner, and the stewards have decided it was a racing incident, even though Lex hit AFC Gunner from behind. They said that AFC Gunner went through the previous corner very slow, and Lex had no time to react, so unfortunately that's gone down as a racing incident. So let's have a look now at them championship standings. Mitch has took a hell of an advantage over Steve F1. He's now got 4 points in the bag over his nearest rival, Mandalorian, on 29 points, and 2MC bringing himself into the fight with 27 points. So yeah, make sure you come back next week for race 5, which will be at the famous Laguna Seca circuit in the United States of America. That promises to be an absolute belting race. So all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and please make sure to like, subscribe and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.